We're now joined by Coach Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma. Coach, your opening thoughts?
All right, thanks everybody. Certainly good to see everybody back here in Arlington. Good to be back in our second home here. So very thankful for a regular, a little bit more regular media days, which has followed up here a great off season. Really proud of our team and the way that we've handled it up to this point. I think everybody's looking forward, and I think there's a lot of anticipation right now on this season. I think college football in general getting back to what we all know and love. So I think we're all certainly anticipating that, and then maybe in some ways more anticipation for this season than any we've ever had. So very much excited to be a part of it and excited to be representing Oklahoma here. With that, we'll take questions.
Okay, Coach, we got a whole cluster of people that have got questions for you. We're going to try to make this quick if we can go around. We're going to start right on the aisle, and then we'll move over to the outside and then come forward.
Hey, Lincoln, Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. Hey, we saw Washington State's 3-year progression on defense under Alex Grinch. Have you seen that similar pattern with him at Oklahoma, or has it exceeded any expectations you may have had?
Well, Eric, the expectations were very high to begin with. I mean, Oklahoma's a place when we began the search for a new defensive coordinator, it's a place you feel like you can go out and have a chance to hire just about anybody in the country. One of the great advantages of being able to work at a program like this. And Alex quickly separated himself for us during that process because of what we believed that this could be, and our visions were so much in line. It was almost scary for not really knowing each other that well prior to. The progression's been great. We were much improved year one. We took a big step year two, and our plan is to take another big step here. And a lot of things go into that. Players now having been in that system for a couple of years, some really strong leaders. I think because of our success as a team and especially our success defensively over the last few years, we've been able to recruit at a higher and higher level, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And we look different just even walking into a team meeting room on that side of the ball than we did a few years ago. It just looks different, and in a positive way. So. Still a lot of work to be done, extremely high expectations for our defense this season, but I believe we've got the right people in the room to get it done.
We got two questions on the right over here.
Hey, Lincoln, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Hey, Spencer not here today. I know you usually bring upperclassmen, so I assume that's why he's still in Norman. But could you just expand on his level of maturity? We saw it on the field last year, but as a guy that's going to get so much attention, how do you expect him to handle that? And have you talked at all about ways that you guys might work to minimize that, or just your philosophy and how you're going to deal that as it relates to him?
Yeah, no, he's definitely in Norman because of our long-standing belief of bringing upperclassmen here. Certainly, he would be plenty deserving as well. But with only two guys, you got to make a call. I think he's very well equipped for this. I do. He's had some great examples to look up to. Even as we were recruiting him with Baker and Kyler, and then his first year in-house with us with Jalen, guys that. Those three probably got more attention than any player in college football during that time, and I think all three handled it extremely well, albeit some in different ways, but handled it very well. And, Spencer's a team-first guy. He has been his entire time here. We have visited about it because it can be a factor if you let it. You certainly can't ignore it, and I think you got to have a philosophy in place both for the player and then for the person and myself that makes some of the decisions on maybe what he may do or not do. We've got to be on the same page, and I think we certainly are. And he's had some success because he's been a humble team-first guy, and as his career continues, if he'll continue to do that, then he'll continue to improve at the rate that he has.
We got a question on the front row. Dean, stand up, Dean.
Okay, gotcha. Dean Blevins, News 9, Oklahoma City. Lincoln, the expectation or some of the comments from players has been that this is the year to get over the hump, if you will, to go on and win in the playoffs. Do you believe that? And if so, what is the thinking? What areas have you seen, or do you expect to see the improvement to get you over the hump?
Yeah, I mean, this is Oklahoma. Every year is the year to do that. It takes a lot to get it done. There's no question about it. I think for us and our team right now, I think we have a genuine excitement and confidence about the people in the room right now, and that we have the people. We have enough ability in the room that we have people that are invested wholly in what we can be as a team. And I think then for us, our focus kind of zeroes back in on getting to the best version of ourselves. And that's, if we feel like that if we do that, then things will happen the way that they're supposed to happen. And so I think that's been our focus from day one when we flipped over after beating Florida in this building into our off season and with the current team. That's been our focus. And so I think the guys are excited about the team and what we have coming back and the new guys coming in, the whole mix of it. But the good thing is we have enough guys in the room that understand all that it takes to get it done and to be a factor at the end of the season. It's every year they're really, really hard. I know we say that all the time, but they always are. It's hard to win the Big 12 championship. It's hard to get in the playoffs. It's hard to win in the playoffs. You gotta be at your very best to do it. And we got a team that believes in themselves, but also understands and fully appreciates the long, tough road ahead.
We got a question on the second row, and then we're going to move to the front row.
Hey, Lincoln. Will Blessing, Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma. So Jeremiah Hall is entering his fifth season with the team. What does his veteran status add to the offense and this team as a whole?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the guys, one of our bell cows. One of the guys that we'll lean on, certainly offensively, but maybe more importantly, just as an entire team. He's been through the fire. He's an absolute team first guy. Been really proud of his progression as a player, what he's meant to us. And but we're going to need his best. I mean, the best teams, you look at it, and your seniors, your older guys, your veterans always play the very best ball of their career. And he's one of the guys that we'll certainly be counting on in a lot of different ways to get that done.
Question on the front row.
Hi, Coach Riley. Madison D'Addario, Gaylord College at OU. You've had some unexpected changes to your running back core for this upcoming season. With Eric Gray coming in, what do you see his role being as a running back this season?
Yeah, Eric's been – I can't say enough about the kid walking in here day one. He's a true professional. I mean, he has – I told somebody earlier, it feels like he's been in our program for months or years already. It literally felt like that the day he walked in the door. I mean, just a very business-like attitude. He's done and honestly exceeded everything that we've put in front of him. He learned offense quickly. He really got acclimated with his teammates in the university quickly. He does everything right. I mean, you can see why the guy's had some success early on in his career, and you combine that with some good experience, and we're thrilled to have him. I mean, I think regardless of who's in our running back room, he's going to be a big factor. So we were thrilled to get him, and he has been a joy to have up to this point.
On the right side, about halfway back.
Hey, Lincoln, Garen Nameg of the Tulsa World. The last 4 years, you've spoken at length about the Grow You program and how that ties to the culture that you've developed in your time at Oklahoma. I'm curious if you've revisited that, touched on that again with your guys this off season, based on some of the incidents that have occurred off the field, some of the dismissals and decisions you've had to make.
I would say the Grow You program was forced to change a lot for us during the pandemic. That was one of the things, unfortunately, getting out in the community, holding team gatherings, bringing in outside speakers. I mean, all those things that we're used to doing that we had to significantly alter. And so excited this spring. It's certainly been a lot more normal for us. It's been good to have some of these team activities and do some of these things that we believe in that are certainly core values of our program. So it's a program that's very important to us, and we've continued to push it. We're going to continue to invest our time, our resources, everything we can into continuing to build these guys.
Question in the rear left side.
Hey, Coach. Carter Yates with the Daily Texan. Going back to the running back room, Kennedy Brooks opted out of the 2020 season, but he's back in 2021. What did you see out of him in spring practice, and what does he bring to your offense?
It's great to have Kennedy back. He's, he was, I think, which would be expected. He was rusty early on in spring, and I think he certainly worked during the time that he was away, but you can't miss a year of football and come back, right away. But I give him credit. He's worked hard. I think, Coach Murray's been really good for him. It's been good to see those two getting a chance to work together. I think finished the spring very strong, and you can't, the guy's had so much production for us. He's done it in big games, done it in big moments, knows our system inside and out. He's really pushing himself to try to be the best version that he can be here kind of towards the end of his career. And I think for him, there's a sense of, not having last year and kind of maybe a little bit more of an appreciation for the process and all that it takes and the opportunity to play. So we're thrilled to have him back and excited to turn him loose.
Hi, Coach. Elise Jones with Gaylord College at OU. So what are your thoughts on this idea of the playoff expansion, and how do you think this would impact a team like OU?
Thanks for the question. I think the expansion that's been proposed is a great start, and I commend the committee that put it together, because you got to put yourself out there. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and I think their proposal was really good in a lot of ways. I think it addressed, maintaining the bowls, which are so important to the history of our game that I, hope we never turn our back on. I think it addressed getting the conference champions in the playoff, which is needed to happen. I think it addressed a pathway for a group of 5 member to be able to get into the playoffs, which honestly hasn't been realistic under the current system. So in my mind, all of those are great things. I still think there's work to be done, questions to be answered. I know the obvious ones of how many games you want to play in a season. It's certainly one. Is 12 too many? Certainly some of those things are up for debate, but I think in large part it was a great proposal, something we can all work off of and to make the system better.
Okay, we got a question about 4 rows back on the left.
Kirk Bowles from the Austin American-Statesman. Lincoln, you started 0-2 last year and still won the league. What statement do you feel like that made for Oklahoma as a program? And do you want your players to think that y'all just own this conference?
We could go a lot of ways with that one. I don't know about the statement. I mean, each year is its own year, and I know, we all want to write and talk about, streaks or winning this many, and that's all great. But I think, for that team, it was an opportunity with so many things not going our way, some within our control, some not within our control, of who we were going to be. I do think it shows the championship DNA of this program, that I felt like our team was not going to accept, mediocrity, and so I very much appreciate about that team. We have a lot of respect for this league. We have a lot of respect for what it takes to win this league, and it's not. I think a lot of times on the outside, people just think it's a given, and it's anybody that thinks that doesn't know college football. They haven't been inside the ropes. They don't understand it. It takes so much, and it's so hard. And everybody's a good coach, and everybody has good players. And each year's so different. Each game's so different. So, we're excited about some of the success that we've had, but we know that's not going to make a whole lot of difference in this coming year. We gotta go do it again.
Final question for Coach on the outside left.
Brandon Drum, 247 Sports, OUinsider.com. You talked about your defensive improvement this past couple of years, in particular last year. Can you pinpoint kind of the moment that you guys thought, okay, you're kind of getting over that hump with your confidence, and the overall growth on the defensive side of the ball? And then secondly, as far as your recruiting goes, did you guys change up how you decided you were going to go about recruiting defensive players, pinpointing different type of guys? And I guess that's it.
Yeah, defensively, I don't know that there was the eureka, Hollywood moment. I think you felt just kind of constant improvement, from day one, and we've made some big plays in big games, especially to close out games over the last few years, and I think those in particular do something for the psyche and confidence of an individual player or side of the ball that are hard to duplicate. But I think it's just been a real consistent process, and I'd really point to the defensive line really becoming a strength of this team, and one of the best defensive lines in college football. That's really stands out to me. And as far as recruiting, yeah, we have changed in some ways what we look for. I would say probably the defensive front and the secondary the most. We've really put a premium on trying to get bigger in the secondary, and I think that's improved. There was several years stretched there where we were pretty small across the board. Not that you can't have one small guy here and there, but you don't want you don't want to roll out with 4, 5, 8 guys out there in the secondary. And so we certainly look a lot different there, and then the front, with us being so attacking, single gap, so much movement, the premium has been on obviously big guys, but the athleticism there. And even if it's a big monster that's a plugger, 2-gap guy, we're not really recruiting that body type anymore. We want guys that can win one-on-ones, that can penetrate, that can get in the backfield and cause havoc. And so those have been the 2 biggest changes from a defensive recruiting philosophy.
Okay, Coach, and thanks a lot for your comments and answers, and best of luck for the season.
All right, thank you.